Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Chapter 6. The Journey from Platform 9 3/4. Harry's last month with the Dursleys wasn't fun. True, Dudley was not now so scared of Harry he wouldn't stay in the same room, while Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon didn't shut Harry in his cupboard, force him to do anything, or shout at him. In fact, they didn't speak to him at all. Half terrified, half furious, they acted as though any chair with Harry in it was empty. Although this was an improvement, in many ways it did become a bit depressing after a while. Sorry, I'm bad with words. Depressing after a while. Harry kept to his room with his new owl for company. He had decided to call her Hedwig, a name he found in a history of magic. His school book were very interesting. He lay on his bed reading late into the night, Hedwig swooping in and out of the open window as she pleased. It was lucky that Aunt Petunia didn't come in to fake home anymore, because Hedwig kept bringing back dead mice every night before he went to sleep. Harry ticked off another day. One of the pieces of paper he had pinned to the wall, counting down to September the 1st. On the last day of August, he thought he'd better speak to his aunt and uncle about getting to King's Cross Station the next day, so he went down to the living room where they were watching a quiz show on television. He cleared his throat to let them know he was there, and Dudley screamed and ran from the room. Uncle Vern grunted to show he wasn't listening. I need to be at King's Cross tomorrow, too, to go to Hogwarts. Uncle Vern grunted again. Would it be all right if you gave me a lift? Grunt. Harry supposed that meant yes. Thank you. He was about to go back upstairs when Uncle Vern actually spoke. Funny way to get to a wizard's school. The train magic carpets all got purchased. Hey, haven't they? Okay. Harry didn't say anything. Where is the school anyway? I don't know, said Harry, realizing this for the first time. He pulled the ticket Hagrid had gave him out of his pocket. I just take the train from platform 9 3/4 at 11 o'clock. He read. His aunt and uncle stared. Platform what? 9 3/4. Don't talk rubbish, said Uncle Vern. There is no platform 9 3/4. It's on my ticket. Barking, said Uncle Vern, howling mad. The lot of them. You'll see. You just wait. All right. We'll take you to King's Cross. We're going up to London tomorrow anyway, or I wouldn't bother. Why are you going to London? Harry asked, trying to keep his things friendly. Taking Dudley to the hospital, growling Uncle Vern. Got to have that ruddy tail removed before he goes to smelting. Harry woke at 5 o'clock the next morning and was too excited and nervous to go back to sleep. He got up and pulled on his jeans because he didn't want to walk into the station in his wizard's robes. He changed on the train. He cheered his Hogwarts list yet again to make sure he had everything he needed, saw that Hedwig was shut safely in her cage, and then paced the room waiting for the Dursleys to get up. 2 hours later, Harry's huge, heavy trunk had been loaded into the Dursleys' car. Aunt Petunia had talked Dudley into sitting next to Harry, and they had set off. They reached King's Cross at 10:30. Uncle Vern dumped Harry's trunk onto the cart and wheeled it into the station for him. Harry thought it was strangely kind until Uncle Vern stopped dead, facing the platform with a nasty grin on his face. "Well, there you are, boy. Platform 9, platform 10. Your platform should be somewhere in the middle. But they don't seem to have built it yet, do they?" He was quite right. Of course, there was a big plastic number 9 over the platform and a big plastic number 10 over the one next to it. And it in the middle, nothing else. "Have a good term," said Uncle Vernon with an even nastier smile. He left without another word. Harry turned and saw the Dursleys drive away. All three of them were laughing. Harry's mouth went rather dry. What on earth was he going to do? He was starting to attract a lot of funny looks because of Hedwig. He'd have to ask someone. He stopped a passing guard, but it didn't dare mention platform 9 3/4. The guard had never heard of Hogwarts, and when Harry couldn't even tell him what part of the country it was in, he started to get annoyed, as though Harry was being stupid on purpose. Getting desperate, Harry asked for the train that left at 11 o'clock, but the guard said there wasn't one. In the end, the guard strode away, muttering about time wasters. Harry was now trying hard not to panic. According to the large clock over the arrivals board, he had 10 minutes left to go on the train to Hogwarts, and he had no idea how to do it. He was standing in the middle of stations with a trunk he could hardly lift, a pocket full of wizard money, and a large owl. Hagrid must have forgotten to tell him something you had to do, like tapping the third brick on the left to get into the alley. He wondered if he should get out his wand and start tapping the ticket and inspectors stand between platform 9 and 10. At the moment, a group of people passed just behind him, and he caught a few words of what they were saying. Packed with muggles, of course. Harry swung around. The speaker was a plump woman who was talking to 4 boys, all with flaming red hair. Each of them was pushing a trunk like Harry's in front of him, and they had an owl. Heart hammering. Harry pushed his cart after them. They stopped, and so did he, just near enough to hear what they were saying. "Now, that's the platform number," said the boy's mother. 9 3/4. Pip, a small girl, also red-headed, who was holding her hand. "Mum, can't I go?" "You're not old enough, Jenny. Now be quiet." "All right, Percy, you go first." What looked like the oldest boy marched toward the platform 9 and 10. Harry watched carefully not to blink in case he missed it. But just as the boy reached the dividing barrier between the two platforms, a large crowd of tourists came swarming in front of him, and by the time the last backpack had cleared away, the boy had vanished. "Fred, and you next," the plump woman said. "I'm not Fred, I'm George," said the boy. "Honestly, woman, you call yourself our mother? Can't you tell I'm George?" "Sorry, George dear. Only joking. I'm Fred," said the boy, and off he went. His twin called after him to hurry up, and he must have done so because a second later he had gone. But how had he done it? Now the third brother was walking briskly toward the barrier. He was almost there, and then quite suddenly he wasn't anywhere. There was nothing else for it. "Excuse me," Harry said to the plump woman. "Hello, dear," she said. "First time at Hogwarts? Ron's new, too." She pointed at the last and youngest of her 3 sons. He was tall, thin, and gangling, with freckles, big hands and feet, and a long nose. "Yes," said Harry. The thing is, I don't know how to get onto the platform, she said kindly, and Harry nodded. "Not to worry," she said. "All you have to do is walk straight at the barrier between platforms 9 and 10. Don't stop and don't be scared. You'll crash into it. That's very important. Best do it at a bit of a run. If you're nervous, go now before Ron." Okay," said Harry. He pushed his trolley around and stared at the barrier. It looked very solid. He started to walk toward it. People jostled him on their way to platforms 9 and 10. Harry walked more quickly. He was going to smash right into the barrier, and then he'd be in trouble. Leaning forward on his cart, he broke into a heavy run. The barrier was coming nearer and nearer. He wouldn't be able to stop. The cart was out of control. He was a foot away. He closed his eyes, ready for the crash. It didn't come. He kept on running. He opened his eyes. A scarlet steam emerged, was waiting next to the platform packed with people. A sign overhead said, "Hogwarts Express, 11 o'clock. Harry looked behind him and saw a wrought iron archway. There, where the barrier had been, with the words "Platform 9 3/4" on it. He had done it smoke from the engine drift over the heads of the chattering crowd, while cats of heavy color wound here and there between the legs. Owls swooped